Hello everybody, this is MTG here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing an awesome infinite combo in Historic. So for those of you who don't know, every time a set comes out on MTG Arena, I like to do a video that I call Going Infinite. And in the past, I've done things like taken extra turns, ended my opponent's turn infinite amounts of times, gained infinite life, done infinite damage, gained infinite mana, all sorts of crazy things. And in today's video, I'm going to be gaining kind of infinite mill. And this is a little bit different than my past combos. A lot of my past combos revolve around lots of moving pieces. Maybe you have something here that adds 4 mana, and then this that untaps it, and then you feed that mana into this. But this combo is actually kind of a one-off thing, and that almost makes it better in a sense. I mean, MTG Arena, which is the format the format I play Magic the most right now, doesn't really like infinite combos. It can end the game in a tie, it can do all sorts of crazy things, and so sometimes the combos that are infinite, yes, this combo is infinite, but don't revolve around infinite triggers are better. And what I mean is, this combo revolves around Bruvac from Jumpstart, and a new card we got in Zendikar Rising called Maddening Cacophony. And what this does is Maddening Cacophony, if you pay the kicker cost, will mill half of your opponent's library. And you might be thinking, well, that's not infinite. But then Bruvac says whenever you mill something, mill double that amount. So you're taking half of something and then doing double that, which basically means you're just taking it from whatever value it is down to 0. If your opponent has 1,000,000 cards in their deck, they are milling 1,000,000 cards. So it is infinite, and it's a little bit different. And what makes this nice is the fact that you don't actually have to sit through like 20 triggers. If each trigger is dealing 1 damage, and yes, you do technically have infinite of them, you don't have to sit through every single one. And so this is done only in Historic because Bruvac, of course, is only a historic card. It is not legal in Standard or anything along those lines. It could technically be done in past formats, and as well, it has a little bit of redundancy. For instance, we have Fleet Swallower within Historic, which can act as another Maddening Cacophony, which means that this combo could technically have 4 Bruvacs and 8 of the mill half your library cards, and then you can kind of have this infinite win con. Now, I do not recommend going out and just building a deck around getting a combo. Generally, those don't work very well unless the combo is pretty good. But what you can do is throw this into a pre-existing deck. Say you're playing Historic and you're playing Dimir Rogues, well, maybe you do throw in some Bruvacs and a couple Maddening Cacophonies. Maddening Cacophony works really well with all the Rogues. Bruvac is going to double all the Rogues like mill triggers, so those cards could both independently be in the deck. But when you add them together, if they happen to come together in a game, you just win the game on the spot. And that's what is so fascinating to me, is that this combo actually has potential to actually do something. I don't think there's going to be a deck built around it, but I think that the pieces are so uniquely similar. It's not like my previous infinite mana combo where, you had all these random pieces that would never be in a deck together. Instead, these cards could independently be in decks together, and that is what makes it so powerful. And so I'm going to show you my combo going off. I put a basic mill deck together, including things like Vantress Gargoyle, Jace, Teferi's Tutelage, all those awesome cards, and then just happen to have, and I only have 2 Bruvacs, or maybe even 1, and then some Maddening Cacophonies, and I was able to actually get the combo off on my 3rd game. And so yeah, why don't we take a look at that? Alright, so I'm going to show you the whole game just so you can kind of see how it works. A lot of combos, you'll have these pieces and they'll just kind of sit dead in your hand. And actually, you'll notice this game started without the pieces, and I'm not mulliganing to go get these pieces. This is just a typical Historic mill deck that just happens to have some other cards in there. We have the Apprentice, which is just good mill, Ventress Gargoyle, which is a good card in any mill deck, Teferi's Tutelage, which is an amazing mill engine, especially when you have multiple of them combined with something that lets you draw extra cards like a Jace or I guess another Jace that we just saw there. So that's really awesome. We're playing against something that looks mono blacky, so it's going to be a deck that is pretty decent, but we do get out this 5/4 pretty early, which is pretty good. Now, this obviously isn't a deck tech, but if you want to see my deck list, it will be in the description down below. The only two cards that are really important, remember, are Maddening Cacophony and Bruvac. Of course, also Fleet Swallower, like I mentioned. And Bruvac, by the way, himself is already really good. You take Maddening Cacophony and not even kick it, which you would definitely want to kick it, but if for some reason you can't, you're milling 16 cards for 2 mana. Bruvac really, in my opinion, belongs in a mill deck unless your mill deck is super, like, refined to, like, one idea, then it can't stray away from that in any way, you know? Even if you're running a Persistent Petitioner deck, which you could argue this belongs in a Persistent Petitioner deck, which is a deck with Persistent Petitioners, Bruvac, and Maddening Cacophony, and that's basically the only cards in there, but you're generally going to want to put this in a deck that can draw you some cards, because you do need to get up to 6 mana to get the combo to go off. You do have to have Bruvac stay in play, so it's not a, oh, I have the 2 cards in my hand, win kind of thing, because if you did want to do that, you'd need close to 9 mana, but it is nice because it doesn't rely on any attack triggers. It doesn't rely on your thing, like something happening at upkeeps. It can technically happen all on one turn. And so you'll notice this game actually, in my past, like, infinite combos, I have been battling Sparky. This is against a real person. This combo is actually doable. And you'll also notice in my past videos, a lot of times I will, like, avoid killing my opponent in order to get the combo to go off, which means the combo isn't practical. If I can just kill them in the time it takes to assemble the combo, which, there you go, I got my Bruvac, is it really that practical of a combo? And so here, I'm able to play against a real opponent. I don't have to spare them to do it. And you'll see here that coming up, the combo works really well. MTG Arena handles it fine, which is a lot better than I can say for other combos that maybe are a little bit more tedious, like the Ral, is it Viceroy combo, which basically if you duplicate a duplication spell, you can get infinite damage, but you have to, like, manually go through for every 1 damage. Now, here I get pretty lucky. My last card draw was Bruvac, and then I followed that up with Maddening Cacophony. So I have to play Bruvac out here. I'm first testing to see if they have any instant speed. They really don't, or they're just faking it. And so I have to hope that one of his 2 cards is not a removal spell, and it doesn't turn out to be that. And you'll notice here that I'm dead next turn pretty much. Like, I would have to block the Knight of the Ebon Legion, leaving me with 1 life, assuming they can't kill me in another way. So it ends up actually mattering. Actually, yes, I would be dead next turn, but the combo saves me. I have actually exactly enough mana. And it's not like they were going to die to mill anyway, so yeah, this works out really well. So I'm able to mill them for all of their library, thus milling them an infinite amount of cards. I guess I only milled them 26, but it can mill an infinite amount of cards. Either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Remember, the list will be in the description down below. If you enjoyed and want to see more awesome content like this, leave a comment. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.